All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into some weekly tinfoil hat updates. We do a quick stream recap of the Yankees live stream we did last week and what the future streams are going to look like. I give you a little update on the tomato and pepper vegetable garden in the LPDS compound. And I talk about a little bit of Spearhead Leadership updates and LPDS life updates in the Junction and what we got going on these days, and ready to waiting for you guys in the future. So all that plus a Cage fact coming at you right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, the show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons in everything. We have a good time doing it. Hope everybody had a good week. Mine was pretty good. I'm trying to think if there's anything eventful going on. Busy week. I'm doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Talk about that in the Junction, really. But, can't complain about the week. Currently, it's been pouring rain all day today, and I held off. I held off longer than I wanted to record because I was worried that we were going to get the power was going to go out because the last week it rained, and it was actually a little bit more windy then too, and the power went out. And I didn't want to deal with that mid-recording again, because that only creates problems. So I was holding off, and it's still raining. It's not as heavy and stormy anymore. It's just annoying rain. And hopefully the plants are doing okay outside, the vegetable plants. So speaking of which, so what I did, we'll give a quick garden update. I have my plants, I have my seeds I planted in little pots a little while ago, a month or so ago, and they're growing slowly again as usual. So what I decided to do was plant half of them earlier, like tiny plants in the ground outside. That way, either two things are going to happen. They're going to grow faster because now they're in the ground outside. I can water them a lot better. They have more room to flourish. The actual outside rainwater will help with like the nitrogen and the minerals and what have you. Or they're going to die, but I have half the plants still waiting in the wings. What I did was in each pot that I planted seeds, I have 2 plants in each pot to kind of double up, because sometimes one always dies, doesn't grow the way you want it to. Something happens, bugs eat it or something happens. So that's what I did. I planted half, 3 tomato plants, 3 pepper plants, and right now I have one tomato plant is gone, not because it died, but because these damn squirrels are digging in the dirt, and they dug too close to the plant and knocked it out. And by the time I saw it, it was already dead. It was already gone. I couldn't salvage it. But these little bastards are digging, and there's nothing in the holes that they're digging. So I don't know if they're pulling stuff out, which I don't think, because I dug I dug the garden up recently, and there was all the stuff that would have been underneath there for them to eat that they hid in the winter. I dug it all up. It was all out. But all their holes are next to the plants. So I'm wondering if they're doing that because there's more moisture down there and they were trying to get water. I don't know, because it gets warm out here. I put a little thing of water out in the corner for them, so hopefully they'll just drink from that. If that's the reason, I have no idea. They're not eating the plants, but they're digging close enough that it ruined one of them. But something kind of funny happened, and this actually makes me want to, in fact, I'm just going to do it next year. I'm just going to plant the seeds in the ground next year. And then I'll have backups in pots just in case. Because in the back corner of my yard, next to the little garden plot I have, it's where I dumped all the excess vegetable garden waste from last year. The tomatoes that fell off the plant when I was pulling them out of the ground, all that stuff, I put it in that corner. And out of nowhere, a tomato plant started growing. I didn't realize it until it got to be about a foot tall. So not very big, but it grew on its own. It didn't start in a pot. It didn't start in a controlled environment. It was just in the corner. And it's a full-on tomato. It's the biggest one I have. I'll take a picture. I'll probably forget to do it for this episode, but I'll post a picture on Instagram of the garden, and you'll see that you'll look at the garden and you see nothing because the other plants are so small, and then you'll see this one actual plant in the corner. So I still have 3 tomato plants out there. One is just already, well ahead of the rest of them. And this one didn't start popping out of the ground until long after I planted my seeds in the pots. It just grew faster out there. The other thing I think, and I don't know, but it's in the same corner I throw all of Randy's dumpies. Now, on one hand, you could say, manure, it's crap, it's good fertilizer. But dog dumpies are historically acidic. And they say not to use it in fertilizer or mulch or compost when you're making it because of that. It's too acidic for plants. Now, some plants are okay with the acidity. Some plants aren't. Tomato plants usually aren't. But I also know that Randy's diet is not regular dog food. It's not kibble. And that could be why their dumpies are historically acidic, because they're getting that crap food from the highly processed garbage byproduct kibble that most dog food is. But he gets human food. So maybe that made it less acidic and more of a fertilizer, what's the word I'm thinking of? Complement? Fertilizer adjacent, if you will. And this tomato plant is great. It's holding strong. It's big. I think there's going to be some flowers on it pretty soon. So I think I'm just going to start planting seeds in the ground outside immediately next year and seeing how it goes. And then I'll have some backups in the pots in case something happens to the seeds. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe what I'll do is I'll plant them outside, and then I'll create like a protective cover, like a plastic with cellophane over it, saran wrap over it to protect it from squirrels and what have you, but it's still clear so it gets sunlight and all that stuff. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But anyway, we got the plants in the ground. I still have 3 pepper plants and 3 tomato plants in pots, and they're also tiny. They're not really growing that much. They're still growing, but they're slow in those pots. So I'll probably put those in. Actually, I might put them in the next couple days. By the time you listen to this, they might already be in the ground. And we'll just go. We'll just wing it from there. It'll be easier to maintain because I have the hose out the back. It'll be easier when I go to Italy in June again for my neighbor to help me out and water my plants instead of having to go inside my garage and do it like that. I would never ask him to do that and inconvenience himself like that. So we'll keep you posted on that. Don't ask me if I'm going to send any stuff out. The jury is still out if there's going to actually be stuff on there. So you know the drill. And then hopefully next year I have more time where I can expand the garden out, and because I have a good enough space in that back area where I can expand it out and double my plant output without having to really lose a lot of yard space. So I might do that. But I'll keep you posted on it all. Anyway, I don't really have much going on this week otherwise. Much things to discuss. Weekly reminder, Epstein files still out there. Nothing being done about it. Waiting to see if they actually do the testimonies, these fake clown show testimonies with Bill Gates and friends. CNN, I saw they ran this whole news piece that's up. Everybody on Threads and I probably Twitter are up in arms about all the negative social media areas. Threads is all negative politics shit and hot girls selling their OnlyFans stuff. And Twitter is roughly the same, I think. I barely go on Twitter. I only go on when my friends send me something and then they tell me to go on because they sent me something because I don't even have notification. I don't even have the app on my phone. I'll go on a web page that way. And I can get some sports updates as needed. But CNN ran this piece on this website, this like cult website that was teaching dudes how to assault women without getting caught, to get away with it and all that stuff. And apparently 62 million people around the world were live listening to this stream of this happening. They're running that. And people are up in arms. Men are sick. Men are the worst. It's they're all the enemy. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Anybody who tuned into that, disgusting. I have a feeling I know the general demographic, if you will, of men that tuned in. I imagine there was probably a lot of bots and fakes in there too, as well as there always is with stuff on the internet these days. But what I don't get is CNN and Fox and MSNBC and ABC and NBC, I mean, they're all the same. They all have access to the Epstein stuff. It's been out there. They ran this article on this live stream like this is like, oh, this is first heard of sexual assault stuff going on, and we got to find all 62 million of these regular guys, like not regular, but like non-famous power players like the Epstein stuff, and we got to call them out and make a big deal of this. You have the Epstein stuff right in front of you, right on a silver platter. And it involves politicians and celebrities and oil tycoons and royalty and billionaires. And you're not talking about that at all. You're not demanding investigations. You're not taking to the streets of social media at all about that. The picking and choosing of outrage, the selective outrage of the media, I just don't get it. I mean, I get it. I know why they're doing it, because their coffers are all involved in the Epstein stuff. So, of course, they're not going to talk about it and bring up their own people who pay their salaries, but I just don't understand how people still buy into it. And they still call me crazy, and you got to get over it. Nothing's going to happen. Get over it. Let it go. That's what's still crazy to me, but I'm never going to let it go. And I hope the same people out there talking about it still talk about it as well. Because you're voting for these people in power. You're watching their movies. You're watching their documentaries on Netflix and their TV shows about their royal families and lives. You're buying their products. It just seems crazy to me. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. On a lighter note, another good stream, another good Yankee stream for the LPDS last week. I did it Wednesday. I got to check the schedule again. I believe Wednesday is going to be another good night to do it this week. So stay tuned for the announcements on Instagram and Facebook and what have you. I got to verify the schedule, but I think if we're going to keep doing them, we'll do them Wednesdays with exceptions, of course. I like it to be decent games. I want to make sure I'm not busy that week at all. Um, I was, I was busy a week prior, a couple weeks ago, so I couldn't really do a stream, and I don't want to force it. I also have, I was busy with like Spearhead related stuff, so that takes priority right now. For anybody who was mad that I didn't do streams last 2 weeks ago, but I think Wednesday's a day, unless it's afternoon games. We'll figure something out. I also would like to schedule a time that I can get the creature in house for a little bullpen GM LPDS collab stream on a little broadcast of a game then. So that would be awesome. We'll figure something out with that. And yeah, it was a good stream. The Yanks won 3-0 on the live streams when we stream. The Yanks are 3-0. I said as much, I'll keep my Yankees bitching to a minimum on these episodes because I get to bitch about them on live. So if you want to hear Yankees talk more in depth, tune into the live streams where you can watch the replays too. You can fast forward and stuff if you want, speed up the game if you want to. If you're a sports fan, a Yankees fan, and you want to hear about that stuff, or tune into the live. You can comment. I interact with the chat as much as I can during the game, between innings, what have you. And it was just a fun time. It was just a fun time. It was a great chance. As you get older, there's less opportunity for you to enjoy things you like with your friends as much anymore. Not because your friends stink or you stink per se, but because life happens. Life gets in the way, or there's distance. And you can't physically hang out and do the same stuff like you did anymore. But the internet, one of the good things about the internet these days, besides a lot of the bad stuff, is we get to connect in that regard. We're all watching the game together. We're hitting on the chat, asking questions. We're shit talking each other. We're shit talking the game. We're shit talking the other teams. We're watching guys hit home run. Like, it's just a fun time. It's just like it is as close as you can get being in the same room together without being in the same room together. It's nice. So I love it. And I'm still trying to figure out a way to do something like that for Spearhead. I just don't know if the audience for Spearhead is also in the live stream space. I think I just have to give it a shot and see. But I do like the whole idea of connecting live like that, even if it's on the internet. It's just more, it's more authentic. Like, I can't edit, I can't curate cool looking background edits and other things to make it look professional or fake or something that I'm not. It's all real. And especially during the games, it's all reactionary. I'm commenting and talking about things as they happen. So it's all real, and the reactions are real, and the conversations are genuine and authentic. I would argue something like this is more genuine and authentic than what you get on the irregular broadcasts. Even though I love the Yankees broadcast with Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill and them, they're still, they got to push sponsors. They have to make sure they say certain things and not say certain things. They have to keep it professional and tight and buttoned up. And it is a curated professional version of themselves. We don't have to do that here on the LPDS with the live streams. We just run with it. Whatever happens, happens. And that's what I think is so great about it. Again, the internet is a way to connect, but the live stream adds that extra element, even though you're not in the room together. It's as close as you can get to connection besides being in the room, which is the best thing for connection, obviously, human to human connection. But I still enjoy it. So I think Wednesday is going to be the day moving forward. Again, I got to always keep checking the schedule. Things are going to change and be in flux, but you can expect likely Wednesdays, unless they change Thursdays to evening games. They usually do afternoon games Thursdays, so we'll see. But tune in if you like those. Anyway, with that, well, let's just get into the good stuff. All right? Moving right along here. We'll step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Wiener Fingers. From the genius who brought you the hot dog fingies, Wiener Fingies are the new it snack for all your home festivities. Picture a plate of delicious pigs in a blanket while watching the big game with your pals. Now picture those pigs breaded in fried chicken breading and deep fried to perfection. The combination of KFC-style breading and wiener is unrivaled, and you'll be stuffing your gills with so many Wiener Fingies you won't be able to take a breath. So to get your fingies on some Wiener Fingies today, head on over to the expired food section of your local Food Lion, and if you use the promo code MICROWIENERS, you'll get 29% off your first pack. Everything is getting fingied with Tony Riggs. I can't wait until the desserts start coming out. More of the desserts start coming out. Tony has been telling me about some of his ideas to fingy desserts, and endless possibilities. Literally endless. So, anyway, this is going off the rails. The Cage Fact. It has just been announced this past week that they will be doing the next installment of the Long Legs franchise. Nic Cage is not only set to reprise his role in it again, but he's part of the production team again. And they're going to make another disturbing, I don't know if it's going to be a sequel or if it's going to be like a franchise where they can make multiples, not just a sequel, prequel style, but just different storylines with the same guy. He goes from town to town doing this stuff. I don't know how it's going to work, but it has been confirmed. They're keeping everything under wraps as far as the title, when they're going to start shooting, when they expect to have it released, what anything about it is going to be. But they did say they've seen success with Long Legs. They see potential with the future of Long Legs. And let me tell you something. You can thank Nic Cage for that. The actor in it, the main character, I forgot her name. She was also tremendous. I don't know if she's going to be in it again or not. I hope so, because she was very good. But, he was cuckoo. Crazy. He was nuts in it. It was awesome. Anyway, that's it. That's the Cage Fact. There you go. You're welcome. Moving over to the Junction. We'll spin the logo up. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Like I said, I don't have much going on to talk about. There's not really a lot of dating trends to talk about in the apps for the outdoor cats out there, or for the indoor cats who want to learn what the outdoor cat lifestyle is like these days. I don't really have anything going on. What I've been doing, though, is I've been in the lab trying to reassess my content and marketing approach with Spearhead and the target audience and all of that. So I'm going to be trying some new stuff lately. That's the bottom line up front. Is I'm going to be trying some different short form content, like on Instagram or TikTok and what have you. The Libretti Leadership Lab will certainly still, I'll be doing that, regularly again. But we're going to be, really honing in on the target audience of the managers, the tech managers specifically. And I've been, like I said, I've been in the lab a lot researching their pain points and things like that, and updating my products as such. But I just have to stop over planning. It's been a problem for me in my life for a long time. And on one hand, it allows me to create tremendously successful operations in all facets of my life. This overly thorough planning, every contingency thought out, every T crossed, every I dotted, all potential hurdles assessed and mitigations incorporated ahead of time. Just it sets a lot of things up for success. But I don't need that shit for much of anything in life anymore. There are certain things in life I still believe that level of preparation and planning for things is beneficial and value added. I will still be doing that for serious matters, of course. When I'm talking serious, I'm talking like life and death stuff. Like in the military, you know, you're triple, quadruple checking your concept of operations, your mission planning, and all that to make sure you have everything good to go, and you know that when shit hits the fan, you have every contingency plan ready to rock, every plan B, C, D, and E, so that you get off the X successfully no matter what. Things of that nature, yeah, you want to quote unquote over plan. But I get myself into these paralysis analysis phases, paralysis by analysis. I think that's the term, where I don't want to start. I end up not executing on anything because it's like, oh, I don't have the perfect plan yet. This video that I make, this episode of the Leadership Lab is not going to be the perfectly, again, curated and put out there with no edits needed and no mistakes and this and that. And I have to stop doing that. I've been using it as an excuse too much lately to take messy action because I don't like messy action historically. But I'm going to start taking messier action. I know also, too, there's always this thing in the way back of my brain that it's going to generate a lot, criticism or more eye rolling or people making fun of me. Not that I care about that too much, but at the end of the day, I still care about it a little bit. I'm still not in that fully enlightened stage where it's like, if all my friends and family are laughing at the cringe stuff I put out there, I'm not going to say it doesn't affect me. I'm not there yet. It still affects me a little bit. It's not going to stop me, but it has certainly slowed me down in the past from things, and I'm just not going to let that happen anymore, I guess you can say. So I have a whole battle plan. I've been working with this mentorship group of mostly ex-military veteran types. And we all are sort of in the same boat where we're trying to get out of our own way and be clear on our purpose again and get after it with some messy action. So that's the plan: is to get messy, get in the trenches, and let people see in the trenches more so. And I convinced myself for a while, like, oh, you're doing that, you're putting yourself out there, and yeah, technically I put videos out, and I do the LPDS, and I do the live streams now and stuff like that too. But I'm still holding back a little too much, and I don't know why. I mean, I know why, I know why deep down, but I don't know why I haven't told myself, fuck that, and just go. Because the worst that can happen is, like, I'm not going to die by putting my shit out there more consistently and humanly. If I'll call it humanly, because there's going to be imperfections. It's going to be, like I said, messy action. I'm not going to die. So there's no, like, the fear is what? You know, you go out on a mission, the SEALs go out on a mission, Green Berets, the Rangers, the fellas, the gang, they go out there. There is the chance that, you know, they don't come back. That's a possibility. That is not the possibility here. I'm not going to put a video out there and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, it's time to take this guy out. No. At least I hope not. I hope I don't put a video out so bad and cringy that somebody's like, this guy has to go. That's basically what's been going on in my life these days behind the scenes. And it's not coming to Jesus. I haven't been in a dark place or anything. I think, you know, I would tell you guys that. My struggles are the same as they have been lately. So I'm not in a bad place or anything. I'm just in a quiet place, reflecting and readjusting, you know, revectoring my efforts. And now it's time to to put them out there and start throwing the grenades and start getting back into the fight. So you can expect to see more from Spearhead in that regard. And if you're not into the leadership stuff, that's okay. I'm not asking you guys to go and engage with that. If, you know, this is for people who are looking for leadership value for their careers or for their lives, relationships, whatever. And that's okay if you're not looking for that right now or ever. That's, you know, this is my business. It's not one of those. I never want to be that guy that's like, hey, you should support me. You're my friend, so you better support me or else. It's like, no. I've gotten away from that a lot over the years. I used to be like that when I was younger. You know, that's where the blind loyalty all started. And I brought that over into like friendships and relationships and stuff where it's like, no, like if you had to choose between something logical that makes sense in the world, but it goes against what I think, even if what I'm thinking and what I'm doing is nonsense, you better choose me. If you're my friend, you choose me. You're loyal to me. This is the friendship here. This is the brotherhood. If you're not loyal to me, then you're not loyal. You're out. I don't care how stupid it sounds. That's what I used to be like big time, way back in the day. Big on bros before hoes kind of thing. And I used to always say every time someone got a girlfriend in like high school or something, it's like, oh, he chose a girl over us. We don't have to be friends with him. And it was so stupid. It was so stupid. So this is not that. I don't do that anymore. I'm not pitching anybody in my family or friend circle, hey, support my stuff. Tell your friends about it. No, if you're not interested, you're not interested. I think it's good shit. I believe in this shit. I love learning about leadership concepts and incorporating things into other aspects of my life because I really, truly believe. I'm not just saying this, like, you know me, especially in the LPDS world. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to sell something. I'm doing it because I believe in it. It's helped me in my entire life. Improving my communication skills, understanding how people receive information, understanding tone, understanding how to email and text differently, understanding how to deal with conflict, not just at the workplace, but with a friendship or a relationship. Understanding the importance of discipline and how to build a relationship out of trust and respect through action and not through flapping your gills. All that shit is leadership. Those are all leadership skills. To be a truly good leader, you have to have that. And again, that's just not something, you know, being a good boss and being a good leader are different things. A good manager, a good boss, They get the staff paperwork done in time. They are present at all the staff meetings. They have to, they do all the payroll crap that they have to do. They schedule the things they have to do. That's great. But to be a good leader, it's a different skill set. And that's a skill set that's transferable to every aspect in life. Friendships, relationships with your spouse, with your kids, with your parents, with your friends, with your coworkers, with your teammates. All it translates into everything you do. You can bring up anything somebody does in life, and we can talk about what leadership aspects are part, what skill sets, what traits are part of that singular thing. From anything, from taking a shower to brushing your teeth to running an organization. I truly believe in it. So I love diving into it and learning about it, and then when I can bring that out to people through content or through coaching, that's ideal, is to get into the trenches with somebody one-on-one and really help them, grow in that regard. I love that shit. But I also know that not everybody feels the same way, and that's cool too. I think it's great. And if you do enjoy that stuff in any way, shape, or form, I'm telling you, Spearhead Leadership we got it dialed in that regard. We're bringing you the real quality shit here. It's never like those corporate companies that come in with these cool slide decks and fun intros and corporate jargon and sweet graphs on their slides and things that motivate you for about 16 minutes, and they never actually help you become better. It's just a nice advertisement for them so that it convinces you to hire them this same time next year so that they're a repeat customer. We don't do that shit. My goal is to have minimal interaction with a client after we get done working. If they want to come back for some, leadership moving forward, like a call, get back on the right track, rehack some currencies, I'm always there for that for sure. But my goal is to not see same time next year. I'm not a therapist. We're not a profit-only driven business. We're a value and help-driven business. So I love doing this shit. And if you like it even an eighth as much as I do, check our shit out. Or if you want to be a part of it in any way, let me know. But that's really what's going on in my world right now. I am 95%. Nope, I'm 90% Spearhead. I'm 5% exercising and working out. And I only say that because that's an everyday thing, as those are non-negotiables, part of the big three. So I don't have to take any extra effort to try to do that. It's incorporated into my muscle memory and my daily routine. So my brain waves, my mental capacity doesn't need to focus actively as much on it, because I just know it's like I work, go to the gym, work, go to the gym, work, go to the gym, eat right, eat right, eat right. Like it's just automatic. I'm talking about active brain power here. Active brain waves and circuitry is 90% Spearhead, 5% of the exercise just to make sure I'm not backsliding on my health and wellness. And then 5% is focus on family, friends related stuff. Talking to my parents, my siblings, my niece and nephews, keeping up to speed on what they're doing with their lives, preparing for this next Italy trip in June with the brotherhood, and that side of the family, if you will. That's it. That's all that's going on. So I'm excited to start getting some real shit stuff out there as far as lack of preparation goes when it comes to this content. But I'm excited for people to see the journey better. I've always talked about I want people to enjoy the journey that is Libretti and Spearhead. But I've been dog shit at putting it out there for people. I still get that in the back of my head, that whole like nervousness of, it's got to look good. It's got to be professional, because that's what, if people look and see unprofessionalism in their mind, they're not going to want to work with you. And it's like, no, I gotta stop thinking about that shit as much and start putting out just value and having people follow along and really connecting with me, because that's what that's what Spearhead is. It's me. It's Libretti. It's the LPDS. So, and that's really all I gotta say about that, folks. Quiet week in the LPDS community here. So, before we go, though, very quickly, the big three. I'm still having trouble with figuring out this mic situation. I always go behind the mic if you're watching in YouTube land, because I'm in the living room. I had the different setup for the stream, and the mic stand is on the right side now. So when I put up my fingies for the big three, I keep forgetting I got to go in front of the mic by the camera side instead of face side, instead of schnoz side, so that you can see the three in the big three. Anyway, the big three, the 3 pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, and being able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Number 1, exercise every day. Do something every day to improve your health and fitness physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty, negative person, be a kind person. When the opportunity arises to be shitty or negative or to get involved in that in any way, shape, or form, understand when you get that feeling inside you, acknowledge it, take a deep breath, take the LPDS step back so you can detach from those negative emotions and just remove yourself from the situation altogether. That way you're going to minimize the negativity going on in your world and the world around you, and you're going to allow yourself the capacity to go focus on more positive, productive things like exercising every day. Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And you can do this by taking a few seconds, actively thinking about each and every day, just one thing. Start off with one thing that's good in your life, or one good thing that happened to you in the last 24 hours. And then think about what your life would be like without that thing. And that will immediately put you in a state of gratitude. And the more you do that throughout the day, the more often you're in that state of gratitude, the easier it is for you to remove yourself from negative bullshit situations so you're not being a shitty person, which will allow you more capacity to go focus on more positive, productive things in your lives, like exercising. And if you do these 3 things each and every day, and a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, repetition, 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 baby, I promise you, you'll be a better, happier, healthier, kinder, less stressed, more genuine human being. You'll be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your notifications on, and tell your friends and enemies, and hit that hotline, 202-670-1114. Tell your friends about the hotline. Tell random people about the hotline number so that they can call and we can listen to them talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about. It'll be a good time. 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.